It started like any other quiet weekend in suburban Ohio. Families were asleep, the streets were still, and no one could have imagined the horror that was about to unfold. By dawn, police would uncover a twisted trail of violence stretching across 2 counties, 3 lives lost, a town shaken, and a community left asking one haunting question. Why? Early that Saturday morning, officers in West Milton, Ohio, were called to a small municipal parking lot. They found a car sitting strangely in the dark, engine off, trunk slightly ajar. What they discovered inside would shock even the most seasoned investigators. Lying lifeless in the trunk was 33-year-old Jaime Pritchard, a mother of 3. Just a few feet away, her husband, 34-year-old Jacob Pritchard, was found dead on the ground beside the vehicle. The cause of death, a self-inflicted gunshot wound. At first glance, it seemed like a tragic case of domestic violence ending in suicide. But within hours, police realized this was only part of a far darker story. About 30 miles away, in the quiet community of Sugar Creek Township, another scene was unfolding that same night. At around 2 a.m., a terrified woman called 911. She lived next door to First Lieutenant Jaime Gustitis, a 25-year-old Air Force officer known for her intelligence and drive. The neighbor reported hearing loud banging, glass shattering, and then a man's voice shouting outside her window. When she looked out, she saw a man with a gun who warned her to get back inside. Moments later, he vanished into the darkness. When police arrived, they found Lieutenant Gustitis dead inside her home. The glass door was smashed, showing signs of forced entry. The neighbor's Ring camera footage captured a man fleeing the scene, wearing jeans, white sneakers, and a black sweatshirt. That footage would soon confirm what investigators feared. The man in the video was none other than Jacob Pritchard. As detectives began piecing the night together, they uncovered a connection linking all 3 victims to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Jacob was a civilian employee at the Air Force Research Laboratory. His wife, Jamie, worked in finance at the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center. And Lieutenant Gustitis served in the 711th Human Performance Wing at the same base. The overlap wasn't coincidence. It was a key to understanding what happened that night. Friend described Lieutenant Gustitis as brilliant and dedicated, a rising star in the U.S. Air Force. She graduated from the Air Force Academy and earned a master's in operations analysis from the Air Force Institute of Technology. She specialized in advanced modeling and analytics, a field that required sharp intellect and focus. Her sudden, violent death sent shockwaves through her unit. In her obituary, her family wrote she had been viciously taken at the dawn of her amazing life. Investigators now had 3 dead bodies, 2 crime scenes, and one crucial question: why did Jacob do it? Detectives suspect that Jacob and Lieutenant Gustitis may have shared a personal relationship outside of work. Rumors of a possible affair circulated quickly, though police have not confirmed it publicly. But they did confirm that Jacob's phone and digital records were being analyzed. Texts, calls, and GPS data could hold the answers. What they found suggested a growing tension, both at home and at work. Some co-workers said Jacob had seemed distracted and anxious in the days before the murder. His wife, Jamie, meanwhile, had reportedly confided in close friends that things at home didn't feel right. The truth may lie buried in the digital evidence investigators are still piecing together, but the outcome speaks volumes. According to the timeline reconstructed by police, the rampage began shortly after midnight. Jacob drove from his home in West Milton to Lieutenant Gustitis' condo in Sugar Creek Township, roughly a 40-minute drive. Neighbors heard glass shattering and a struggle inside. After attacking Gustitis, Jacob fled the scene and drove back toward West Milton. What happened next is unclear, but investigators believe he confronted his wife, possibly after an argument or confrontation. Sometime before dawn, he killed her, placed her body in the trunk of his car, and drove to the West Milton Municipal Building parking lot. There, surrounded by silence, Jacob ended his own life. The discovery of 3 dead Air Force-affiliated individuals sent shockwaves through the community. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation and local police launched a full-scale investigation, even though the suspected killer was already dead. According to law enforcement experts, cases like this, classified as domestic-related murder-suicides, are emotionally charged and often impulsive. Sergeant Kyle Schoberg, a retired investigator who now hosts the Shots Fired podcast, explained that rage-driven crimes like this often stem from jealousy, betrayal, or the fear of loss. He noted that digital evidence like messages and call logs will help reveal Jacob's mindset in the final days leading up to the murders. Jaime's family described her as a devoted wife, a loving mother, and a woman of faith. She left behind 3 young children who are now without both parents. In her obituary, her family wrote of her laughter, her compassion, and her unwavering faith in God, words that now read like a heartbreaking farewell. The community has rallied to support the children, with friends and church members organizing fundraisers and vigils in her memory. This case, like so many others, shows how violence can erupt without warning, even in homes that seem picture-perfect from the outside. Behind the walls of the Pritchard household, something had clearly fractured long before the fatal night. Whether jealousy, guilt, or emotional breakdown drove Jacob's actions, the end result was the same: 3 lives lost and countless others forever changed. As investigators continue to analyze Jacob's phone and digital trail, they hope to answer the question everyone is still asking: what pushed him to the edge? For now, the small towns of Sugar Creek and West Milton are left mourning, not just the victims, but the loss of trust, safety, and peace that once defined their community. It's a haunting reminder that sometimes the darkest tragedies unfold not in distant cities or war zones, but right next door. And even after the gunfire stops, the questions never truly go away. Man dumps wife's body in trunk. The twist that followed will leave you speechless. A story of betrayal, rage, and heartbreak, and the chilling truth that evil can wear even the most ordinary face.